Guys, my good people, reputation is real. That is why your small actions carry big weight. Have you ever noticed how one small thing you did, like a late reply, a cheap excuse, a single careless word, suddenly changes the way people look at you? That tiny moment, that small action, can move your whole life's story a notch left or right. Reputation is real. It is not gossip. It is not some made-up scoreboard. Reputation is the sum of how other people expect you to behave. And the strange and powerful thing about reputation is this: it is both out of your hands and fully within your control. You choose every day whether you build credit or debt in the bank of other people's trust. Reputation starts with performance. We are not actors on social stages, and the image we present matters. We perform. We give signals. People watch, they judge, and they keep score, often without telling us. That is the everyday truth of social life. How we show up matters as much as what we say. But why do small things matter so much? The answer lives in signaling theory. Economists like Michael Spence taught us that when information is imperfect, when others can't see your heart or your true ability, you send signals. A neat uniform, a reliable text, a returned favor, punctuality. Those small acts are signals that say, I am dependable. In return, other people give you opportunities. They open doors. They invite you into projects and networks. In markets, signals reduce doubt. In life, they build trust. We also know from experiments that even tiny cues change behavior. In simple public good settings, just showing an image of watching eyes makes people more likely to act fairly and give to the common pot. The human brain is wired to be social. We respond to the feelings of being seen. That means reputation is not only a story people tell about you later, but it is a force that shapes what you get right now. Even small visible acts create impressions that change how strangers treat you immediately. Look at how the modern marketplace works. On the internet, reputation is money. Research into eBay's reputation system showed that sellers with trusted ratings get better prices and more sales. People pay not just for a product, but for the trust that comes with a name. When you build a reliable track record, markets reward you. When you let that track record slide, doors start to close in ways that feel sudden, but are not. Reputation accumulates and it compounds. Now think about jobs and careers. Recruiters and employers glance at your social footprint. Surveys show large percentages of employers check candidates' social media and sometimes decide not to hire based on what they find. That rude joke you thought was private. That angry rant at 2 a.m. That pattern of no-shows. These small items add up into a file that people use to decide whether to trust you with their business. Reputation lives online and offline, and both bleed together. There is also a civic side to reputation. Communities with stronger social capital, that is where people know each other and where norms of reciprocity exist, enjoy better collective outcomes. Robert Putnam showed how social ties, trust and participation affect everything from schooling to civic health. In places where reputation matters, people cooperate more, institutions work better, and life runs smoother. Your personal reputation is part of that bigger social currency. So what does this mean for you? That is practically and every day. It means three things, spoken plainly. First, small acts are not small. Second, reputation is cumulative and path dependent. Third, reputation is a choice you can manage. Let us talk about small acts. The tiny things build the story. Returning a borrowed charger, showing up when you promised, and answering a message with respect. These are micro investments in reputation. Ignore them and you drain reputation like a slow leak. Pay attention to them and you compound credibility the same way interest compounds money. The signs that shows people act differently when they feel watched is also telling you that your visible micro behaviors move markets and friendships. Let us talk about cumulative and path dependent. Reputation is like a path in the forest. If you walk the same direction often, the path deepens. If you walk in another direction, the whole track becomes rougher to follow. Once people label you like reliable, flaky, kind and careless, that label shapes what they expect and how they treat your next move. Some research on marketplaces and hiring shows this again and again. Early behavior matters a lot because it sets expectations that are sticky. Again, reputation is a choice. You can defend it and grow it, or you can ignore it and let luck decide. This is not about fakery. It is about deliberate habits. Be honest. Be punctual. Speak kindly. Make small repairs when you sleep. In truth, reputation management is mostly humility in practice. Say sorry early. Fix what you broke. Show people you learn. That is how trust is rebuilt. Philosophers and psychologists both warn against the ignorance that thinks reputation is irrelevant. The empirical world punishes that arrogance with missed jobs, viewer invites, and damaged relationships. There are practical rules you can hold to make your reputation work for you. First, protect your small promises. A single yes that you keep is often worth more than 10 big promises you never start. Second, build visible consistency. If you want to be seen as reliable, choose a few behaviors and repeat them. Behaviors like timely replies, respectful tone, and follow through. Third, think in public. Not performative, but transparent. When people see you own mistakes and make them right, your reputation grows faster than when you hide the errors. Fourth, manage your online self. The internet remembers. Your posts are footprints. Recruiters, partners, and clients check. Don't make your online life a liability. Now, a word about repair, because everyone sleeps. Reputation is not a one-way street. It allows repair. The signs of apologies, repair attempts, and reputation recovery shows that early, honest admission plus consistent corrective behavior can restore trust. In other words, you don't have to be perfect. You must be accountable. Say what you did, show the change, and keep proving it. That pattern turns a failure into a stronger trust over time. Reputation is also ethical edges. Don't confuse reputation management with polishing a mask for selfish gain. Reputation that rests on deception is thin and will collapse. Long-term reputation requires integrity. The philosophers have always said character matters. Aristotle talked about ethos and how a person's character convinces others more than clever words. In practical terms, be the person you want people to trust. Character is the long currency. Let me give you a few concrete examples. A shopkeeper who gives correct change without thinking has a reputation that spreads by word of mouth will have a customers even if their shop is farther away. A colleague who responds with calm and clear answers will be invited into projects. One who snaps will be avoided. On platforms, sellers with 5-star ratings sell more and faster. In neighborhoods, people who keep their promises get more favors in times of trouble. Those patterns are not mystical. They are empirical patterns of social life. And here is the part that should make you sit up. Reputation is often the doorway to real opportunities. People hire, recommend, fund, and partner with those they expect to be dependable. When trust is limited, that is in new markets, new teams, new countries, reputation is the currency that buys second chances and opens doors that qualifications alone cannot. That is why people ask for references, why platforms show ratings, and why communities gossip the way they do. Gossip is rough social accounting about trust. Use that accounting to your advantage by being someone worth talking about. So, how do you start if your reputation needs work? First, inventory the small things. That is punctuality, tone, follow-ups, honesty in small transactions as well. Fix one at a time. Second, apologize where needed and follow it with action. Third, create a track record of tiny wins. Show up, deliver, and repeat. Trust is boring in small doses and miraculous in results. Fourth, guard your online life. Clean up posts, set privacy, and be mindful. Finally, invest in community. That is, help others in visible ways. People remember who showed up for them when it mattered. To close, guys, reputation is not mystical. It is social, psychological, and economical. It is real because it changes how other people behave toward you. And that change rewrites your life's possibilities. It is a choice because every small action is a vote for what people will say about you tomorrow. Mind your actions. Pay attention to the tiny things that look like nothing. They are not nothing. They are the building blocks of a life that people want to trust, partner with, and follow. Guys, that was my today's philosophy. As usual, comment below. I want to hear your views about my content. So guys, I love you. Bye.